An Elddis Chatsworth 636. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, and also your ATC, which we can demonstrate in person here on site. Front locker, you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead. We do have the gas pipe work available here on site should you need it. You can actually have 2 gas bottles connected at any time on this particular van, connected to 2 gas bottles, and you can carry a maximum of 2 6-kilo propane gas bottles on board the van. The regulator on the bulkhead has a red piece in the centre here. When the gas is turned on, then the gas that will go green in the centre. The arrow on the outside here will point towards the gas bottle that is in use. Down the side of the caravan you've got your water pump connection. It simply pushes into the side of the van and locks into place. Push it in, push down the cover and it will lock the pump into place. You've got your heating and hot water flue on the side of the caravan, very similar to the heating flue you have on the side of your house. And then on either side of the caravan at the front you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while the caravan is in use. Toilet flush tank at the back of the caravan, you open it up with a key, put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. And in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you release by putting up the orange handle and putting the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette you've got your orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You need to put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. Either side of the van at the rear you'll actually find your wind down legs again to stabilise the caravan at the rear. You've also got your 2 grey waste pipes on the side of the van where your 2 grey waste pipes will go into. You've got the larger diameter holes where your pipe will go into and then drop down inside your waste master. And that is essentially the wastewater that comes out the freshwater system through the sinks and the shower. The wheel nuts will torque while you're here on site so you can see they've been torqued correctly, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover so you can see the motor mover is working correctly. On the door side of the caravan you've got a barbecue gas point at the front, you've got your storage locker for underneath the seat, and then you've got your battery box with your mains terminals, or your battery terminals going to the top of the battery, and your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan. Further back down the caravan you'll see you've got your 2 fridge vents. 2 fridge vents are very simply there to allow hot air out the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. And then you've got your gas flue behind one of these also. Inside the door, on the left hand side as you walk in, you've got your main control panel for the caravan. You've got power on and off for the caravan on the left hand top switch. Control panel is on now. You've got your interior lighting and your external lights for the outside of the caravan on the end switch just here. I'll come back to the control panel in a moment and explain how this works. To fill the water system up, you'll need to make sure the yellow valve next to the seat is in the upright position next to the onboard water tank, so it's pointing towards the bottom of the seat so you can fill the water system up. If that valve is flat with the floor, it will drain all of the water out of the system on board the van. Once you've got that yellow valve pointing upright and towards the bottom of the seat, you can come over to every tap on board the caravan and open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. You can then turn on the water pump by the door, which is just on the control panel here. And when the water system is completely full on board the caravan, you'll have water flowing out of every tap continuously. At that point you can turn all of the taps back off, which will also turn off the water pump, and then you can start warming the water on board the caravan. So the central button here with the tap symbol on it is your water temperature. So you've got all water heater off, water heater on, which will be a preset temperature, and as you can see it's 750 watts of power that will run off. You can boost the water system by hitting the boost option just here, and it will boost for 45 minutes as you can see on the screen here. And then you can also use the gas if you wish to boost the system, which will self-ignite when it needs to, as long as you've got gas turned on and as long as there's gas in the bottle. Central button at the bottom will take you back to your home screen. Button on the left hand side will allow you to control the heating on board the caravan. So you've got 650 watts of power, 1300 watts of power and 2600 watts of power, depending on what caravan site you're on. So you'll select the nearest power source to the one for the site that you are on that is on the control panel. You can control the room temperature by minus or plus on the temperature control just here. You can turn the heating off with the off button on the bottom right hand side there. You've got the option to run a combination of 1300 watt and gas at the same time, and you've got the option to run at gas on its own. When it's ignited, that'll actually go green. You can control the fan on the button just here on the right hand side. Then you've got frost protection, so you can hit the frost button and it will stop the caravan from freezing up. You then got your timed heating and hot water just here. For this we do advise you read the manual, as you'll need to go into the settings and go through the settings to set the programs up. Bottom right hand side of the screen, you've got your current battery voltage for the caravan on board. So that is your heating and hot water control panel, as well as your mains controls for the caravan. Underneath the seat on the front left hand side of the caravan, you will find your 240 trip switches. Now do bear with me, the caravan hasn't been cleaned yet. Top side of the control panel is here. You'll have a test button, so when you hit that button, if the power trips off and that switch drops down, it means there is 240 volts coming into the caravan. Here across the top, you've got the rest of your trip switches coming across, with each of them being marked underneath to say what each of the fuse blocks is for. And at the bottom, you've got your 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. Around the caravan, you will find your TV sockets, etc. for the caravan. So you've got your satellite connections and your normal TV digital aerial connections. Hob, grill and oven all work very much the same as your household appliances, with an igniter on the front, as you can see here. The microwave on board this caravan is actually an eco microwave. So to get the microwave to wake up, you hit the eco button and the microwave will come back on, as you can see just here. To operate it, you've got your controls across the front and you hit the start button, etc. to make it work. Fridge is very simple to use. You've got your power button on the left hand side here. First symbol that you can see lit up is the 240 mains option. If you're on 240 mains or gas, you can control the fridge temperature on the button on the right hand side by hitting it, and the higher these bars go, the colder the fridge will be. Got your option to run gas here. Again, you need to have the gas turned on in the front locker. It will self-ignite on gas. If it fails to ignite, it will flash the blue pilot light just here on the left hand side, and it will also flash the red warning triangle on the right hand side. 12 volt mode is for when you're towing down the road. So you can actually select the 12 volt battery mode, which allows the fridge to work as a cool box as you are towing. It will only work if you have the correct connection on the back of your car. However, once you've got the power turned on and you connect to the car, you can come inside, hit the 12 volt mode. You may need to have the car running for this to operate in the correct way, as sometimes there's no 12 volt or 12 volt supply going to the plug on the back of the car unless the ignition is on. So once you've got the car running, come back inside and you should have a solid blue light here that indicates the fridge is working on 12 volt. The red flashing light on the right hand side at that point would go out. One thing I did forget to say, is if it fails to ignite on gas and it starts flashing both of these lights at the same time, and it's a case if you haven't turned the gas on or the gas bottle's empty, once you've got another bottle connected, you can come back inside, press and hold the warning triangle on the right hand side, and it'll allow the igniter to restart on the fridge. Last thing we go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. Now the toilet system is very simple to use. On top of the toilet you have a red indicator light to let you know that when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. Blue button in the middle of the toilet. On top is to flush the toilet. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van, you need to make sure it's in the straightforward position again, so it allows the toilet cassette to be released from underneath. Also find below the toilet the grey waste handle. The grey waste handle needs to be completely open to allow the waste into the cassette underneath. If that waste handle is in the central position, the waste will sit on top of the flap, and also if that handle is open, or if that is open, you will not be able to remove the toilet cassette, so it can't be removed while the toilet is in use. So always remember to have both the toilet seat and the grey waste handle back in the central position before you try and remove the cassette. So that is the Elddis Chatsworth 636. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.